Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back. And Rama says, hi, guys.
He's still getting used to his harness because these two guys, we have a lot of training still to do. They're young. Uh, yeah, I guess they are 10 months
10
old now.
months, 10 months, yep.
10 months old, Sita.
Yes.
You're 10 months old. Happy birthday. Actually, Sita's birthday should be in about a week.
Yep.
And then Ram's is the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, 10 months old babies, 10 months old, and still learning a lot. A lot to learn, and they still got some filling out and growing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to talk about a couple of things. One of the things that I wanted to delve into from some questions that we see keep popping up is the nature of source and also the nature of the creator of this universe. Because again, there is one source, but yet there is an individual, a singular being that has created this particular universe. And
sorry. So sorry. Okay, we're training. Mommy has snacks and he knows right where they're at. So, rum. Okay.
Okay, so, okay, you ready?
I hope so. Okay.
So again, there is one source, and now we know.
No,
Well,
lay down.
maybe
Sit.
we don't know for some people, but yeah, there is what we would call the multiverse. So our universe is just one cell and an infinite number of cells. You could think about your body again, and there are billions and billions of cells, and there's 10 times that the number of things that are not you living in you. It's the same thing. As above, so below goes for just about everything in this quote unquote matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And,
No.
we wanted to explore that concept a little bit more. There is an obvious duality, and we see it in the Tao Te Ching, we see it in the yin and the yang symbol, the masculine and the feminine energies or principles of light and darkness, that polarity duality that's underway that gives a dynamism to everything. It sets everything in motion in this reality. And yet there is a singularity behind that, as Source encompasses every single individual soul. Each soul, again, we could view as a single ray of sunlight off the sun, a single spark off of a fire, so to speak. And each, again, spark or individual soul, in some ways, carries an imprint of the original, the source, the one, the all. And we are part of that universal mind, that universal consciousness. And again, thoughts are as real as anything, as real as these picnic tables that we're sitting on. Thoughts are the way of the universe. Everything is energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. And we do change forms. We do evolve. We do grow. We do learn. And when we asked Vishnu, who is the one that we view in our terminology, and again, this creator being is known by other names and other traditions and lands. And of course, this creator being is recognized on other planets besides this one. So obviously, there's going to be all sorts of different names for this one particular creator being. But when we asked, what was the purpose of your creation? The word that Cindy got was bloom.
Yeah, he showed me what amounted to, I was just looking for a singular word to describe what his intentions were. And I was shown these really beautiful, like tropical leaves, and within those leaves were flowers, like wildflowers coming up to bloom, and with focus on the blooming part of things. So I don't think there's anything more beautiful in life than the nature of how something blooms. I think that's how we should be. I think it's how our children should be raised. I think it's how everything should be approached, with the essence that it doesn't need like guidance. It doesn't need to be told what to do. A butterfly doesn't need to be told to flap its wings. And those butterflies are so beautiful. They don't even, you don't need to tell them how beautiful their wings are. They just know, and they just act, and they just be. And with that intention, having this universe uh, bloom, so to speak, in each one of us, and our hearts and our minds being able to bloom. And we look at our children and how we put them through school, and it's great to teach them things, but you know, I like to see a child bloom on their own instead of all of these different subjects and kind of forcing them on them at the same time. And sometimes kids just aren't ready for certain subjects, and it can really hinder them. And I know I still have nightmares about school and the horrible feelings I had in school because I was not good at anything. I just couldn't get it. And I still struggle with that to this day. Like some things, I look at them and they look like pieces of a puzzle, and my brain cannot put them together. But guess what? Many of us are like that, and it's okay. We are, who was it? I think it was Einstein who said that he made that comment about a fish. You know, if you judge a fish by the way it climbs a tree, it's not going to be a very good judgment on that fish. The fish is going to look quite stupid. And, you know, of course, fishes are supposed to swim, not climb trees. So that's what he's meaning about that. So each of us having our own gift that we can deliver and we can give to this world that we live in.
Absolutely. And so it's again, it's all about growth. It's all about learning. It's all about new experiences. So before this universe was, there were other universes that were created by other creator beings and other souls, and some souls that are here right now have experienced those universes as well. And some beings, like when we talk about archangels, these beings have worked in other universes, and now they're working to maintain order, balance, and harmony in this universe as well.
They sure are. You know, I mean, it's a group effort, just as above, so below. So we have to work down here in a way, so that we can get those things that we want to create, that our mind wishes to create. It takes a group effort. Looking at as above, so below is something that we can catch and see, not all at the same time, nor are we supposed to see it coming all at the same time. And like, you know, the puppies, they keep bringing me back to nature. Hold on, I'm gonna take care of them and let Mike go with this one. Come here, guys, come here.
As they're eating all the kibble we brought them
Yes.
as treats. We always make our own dog food, but we do have some healthy snacks that we also make for them too. I think we showed you guys their dog treat bars that we make for them in a video before. But you know, that fractal nature, again, fractals are found everywhere in nature. And a fractal is a pattern by which a smaller part does contain the blueprint of the whole, and the whole can be seen in the smaller units. And that's what we have going on. So many of the souls, again, that are here right now have experienced other planets, other star systems, other galaxies, and even other universes. Most of the souls, though, on Earth right now, incarnated into Earth, only know Earth. And so there's a lot of what we would call young souls here. And those, unfortunately, many times get taken advantage of because they can't really sense things that you would know are off if you've had past life experiences in other places. You know, just it's just like kids or dogs and animals. Once we learn something, okay, then we'll start to recognize different things in different places that correlate to the things we've experienced elsewhere. And so what we have going with this world is about 2/3, somewhere around 2/3, 70% of the souls that are here right now haven't known anything but a Kali Yuga on Earth. So again, this is the norm for them. But then there are those of you that are what we would call, again, starseeds lightworkers that have come in, and you might have had many lives in different planets, maybe part of the Pleiades or Sirian star systems, maybe over in Lyra, maybe even for some in other universes as well. As again, this entire universe, as expansive as it is just one singular cell in something much, much bigger. So, who is this creator being, and what is his nature? Well, yeah, his nature is truly love, because it's all about growth for the soul and wanting to help souls grow and evolve. Now, if we had a perfect ideal life, we might view that there's no challenges in that life. But at the same time, challenges, trials, and tribulations can bring on all new levels of growth and can literally test us in the deepest of ways. Think about this, that old Chinese proverb, may you live in interesting times, can be viewed as a curse, meaning, again, interesting being times of trial and tribulation like we have here. But at the same time, they are opportunities for growth. It's how we view the experience, and it's all about how we view the experience. It's okay, guys.
They are the best watchdogs, but they're so loving at the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of shocks us too, because we haven't socialized them with people too much, because we don't get around people much at all. And as loving and sweet as they are with us, when they see a stranger, they're very ominous.
Yeah.
And so we have to work on that a little bit more. I do think they would be very protective. But that is in their nature too. So, they are very, very loving to the pack. But at the same time, they are very protective, which is exactly what we were looking for. So, where was I?
Well, we were talking about the nature of things and actually duality,
Yeah. So again, it's because of the darkness that we can see the light. And many people have read this before. There's been so many philosophers that have understood this point. What we do have, though, in this universe is something that's abnormal and besides the typical. And that is that AI infestation that has claimed many, many souls. And what we get is that AI construct is basically, we could equate it to what it is. It's a virus. And in fact, as we shared, viruses would not be part of this nature if it wasn't for the infection of this AI program into our life. We can see with everything that's going on around us how everything feels abnormal to the highest degree possible. If you look at this system, it's hilarious that now they're talking about climate change all of a sudden, as if they really cared about what they do to the environment. They don't care at all. And how could they not care? This is the only planet that they have, right? Well, no, they know they could go elsewhere. There's other planets. That's the thing, too. They don't value it. They look at it as a resource. They look at us like resources. This is part of that free will component, which, again, there's two different things. There's the free will component, which the creator of this universe has incorporated into the universe itself. So each individual soul can follow whatever its nature is. It's up to the individual on what you're going to cultivate. And if you do cultivate peace and compassion and love and charity and kindness, that will automatically start taking you back towards the creator of this universe and also source. That'll start automatically taking you back towards the higher densities. If we cultivate the self-centeredness, the ego, the fear, the anger, the jealousy, and all things like that, that's going to kind of just anchor us in the muck and the mire. And we won't find that we're going to be able to travel much above the lower fourth density. We're going to be kind of stuck. And that's what most of these souls are. They're stuck. The leaders of this world, the ones that are controlling this world, for the off-world controllers and other dimensional controllers, they are stuck in the muck and the mire. This is as good as it gets for them. It's not going to get any better. And when we viewed some of them, when they do leave this plane of existence, usually they're in a confused, foggy state, and or they're very upset. They're unhappy. Because again, there is the law of cause and effect, and so it does come back and bite them. So many people have said too, they do all they can to discharge what they're going to do ahead of time, so they could, prevent negative karma from coming back on them. Yet at the same time, they can't stop where their frequency is at unless they change their ways. So where their frequency is at, because they lie to us every day, they distort things every day, and they are always doing for them and not for the whole, they're not going to get far. They're going to be stuck in their own prison. They're going to be stuck in their own hell when they leave this physical body.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, our biggest weapon that we have is ability to recognize that there's a problem. Where is the problem? Where is the infiltration? Where are these things coming from, so we can put a stop to it? Where does the distortion start, and where do we bring things into a close? That's what's really going to help us. And it's not easy to always find that. It's not easy to figure out, okay, where was this distorted, so I can go back and restart that patterning, do that repatterning all over again into the natural order of things. And that takes time. That takes the stillness of the waters, stillness of the mind. And that's where you can see deep, deep into the soul to see what needs to be fixed and where.
So, if you want to look at it as a vindictive, judging, wrathful creator, you're really missing the point of this creator, because this creator allows the beings in its reality here to go by whatever they choose. Now, that does allow for some to take advantage of others, yet it's part of this free will system that's in place. And what they're trying to do is truly subvert the free will system, but at the same time, it's still our free will. They can say, well, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your job. You can't work for us. It's still your choice. Do you value your job, or do you value not doing whatever it is they want you to do? It's still your choice. It's still their free will. And even though it can be extreme, like you can't leave the country, again, it'll even get more extreme at some point. We've seen real extremes in WW2 in Poland and Auschwitz and these horrible camps and stuff. Yet it was, humans making their choices of their own free will to impose the will of dark, evil forces upon other humans. And yes, it's a travesty, and it's absolutely horrible. And no, the creator of this universe would not condone it in any way, shape, or form. Yet, at the same time, we have to keep in mind that this is a ride. Your experience, and the way the guides have always stated this, your human experience. Your human experience. You might think that your most basic nature is being a human. No, your consciousness. You're having a temporary human experience.
Mm-hmm. Definitely keep these things in mind, and hopefully it helps you guys get some understanding about the world that we live in, and gosh, what are we supposed to be doing now? And the next video, I did make a lot of notes. I was channeling, and I was making a lot of notes about ascension, and we're going to do that ascension on the next one, because I left all my notes in the truck, and there's a lot of good stuff in there that I think people will benefit from.
So again, how can these travesties happen? It's because of free will. And see, we don't know the bigger picture, and there's stuff that they've kept from us that we won't understand until we leave these bodies. And it's because we would be upset if they did tell us, because it would take away that which we've gained and learned from this experience, be it as harsh as it may be. And that's something that we don't understand, because we're not seeing the bigger picture. The bigger picture can only really be seen from the higher self perspective. And you've probably heard that term, higher self. What is your higher self? You know, again, your higher self is that part of you that didn't come into this incarnation, but it does include the part that did. And you could liken it, again, maybe it's not perfectly accurate, but you can, again, liken it to, having a game and you create a persona, you name that persona Jane, and that's your favorite character in the game, and you build up whatever it is, experience points. Well, our experience points come from being in the game. You accumulate things, whatever the purpose of the game is. And then when the game's over, that particular incarnation's over, but you don't disappear. Just that particular incarnation in the game is gone. You're no longer playing that particular persona. You might have very fond memories of that persona, but there you are. You're still there, even though the character in the game is not there. And you may choose to go right back into it again and say, I love that game, and this time period's going to be even more fun than the last. So I'm going right back in. Or you might say, that's enough. I don't want to have another human experience on Earth. I'm heading to the Pleiades, or I'm heading to Sirius, or I'm heading out of this universe. Whatever it may be, it's up to the individual soul.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. And there's ways to tell, when you exit on a chart too, that I found was really interesting about an exit point and where you're, which planet are you going to go from there? And I think Edgar Casey was one to talk about that information a lot. So I'm looking into that more too.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys got something from this. I know a lot of this is stuff that we've said at different times in little blurbs. Sometimes when we're covering the news and stuff, you get 5 minutes of this and 30 minutes of news. So this time we thought we'd give you 20-something minutes of just this. And we know some people just still want the news, but other people, this is really, really important to them to help their understanding.
Indeed.
Much love. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.